Seaboard. Before I start, I want to give a really quick shout out to the senior class. Everyone so far, and I'm sure the two people who are going out to me are going to be fantastic. Let's give a round of applause to the entire senior class. Thank you. So, when I was trying to come up with what to say here, because at home I do stand up every so often, and it's at places where it's mostly adults. So this is the most people under the age of 21 in a room that I've ever performed in front of before. So I had to come up with something clean, because I'm sure if I said my normal stuff, Abby would promptly lift me up and push me out the room immediately. I swear. And none of you would talk to me again. So we did some clean stuff, okay? So last year I was in AP US History. Last school year was AP US History. Yeah! So much hate going on. So I was in AP US, and there was pictures of the presidents hanging up all around the room, all my classroom. And my friend Eric was underneath of the picture of Bill Clinton. But it wasn't Bill Clinton's presidential portrait where he is in he looks nice and he's like smiling. It's the creepy one. It's the really creepy one where he's like that. It's creepy. So one day I walk in and I get there before anyone else, and Eric's sitting there, and he sees me come in and he's like, "Andrew, does this picture of Bill Clinton ever bother you?" I said, "No, it doesn't bother me at all." He's like, "It really bothers me. It's creepy. I don't like him looking at me like that." So what I did was it was just too easy. I let the class period go by. He forgets about our conversation, and then I walk over to him, and he's talking to his neighbor. He's talking to the guy who sits next to him about how creeped out he is about Bill Clinton. And he says, "Yeah, the Bill Clinton picture creeps me out, and I don't like how close this to me." It was too easy. I bent down and I said, "Come on, don't you like it when I'm this close to you?" Put a finger in his ear. Last summer 2014, I was a counselor at my local GCC tennis camp, and why is that funny? I was a counselor at a tennis camp. So there was this little kid named Sam, about 7-8 years old. No, he was 7 years old. Cute kid, really cute kid, but he always got into some trouble. He always got into some trouble. So me and the other counselors, we were in like a counselors only area, and Sam gets into the counselors only area, and one of my co-counselors looked at him and said, "Wait, it's like, what are you doing?" Like, "You're not supposed to be in the counselors only area." And I did something that I still regret to this day. Because of the following events, I don't regret saying this, but because of the following events, I regret it. I looked at the 7-year-old right in the face, the cute 7-year-old in the face, and I said, "You're not special." By the way, I call this bit, I am a terrible person. So the day goes on, and he was fine. He didn't, whatever. He didn't comprehend it. And so the day goes on, and at the end of the day, we're indoors, and the parents are coming by to pick up the kids. And one of my coworkers came up to me and said, "Don't you know, you probably shouldn't have said that to Sam." And I'm like, "Why? We would have said it to any of the other kids." Great counseling. So he said, no, Sam's special. And I said, "I told him he wasn't." So he said, no, he's actually by birth special. Look at his name. And I had the roster in my hands. And I looked at the roster, and I got down to Sam's name, and his last name was Nada. Ngata. If you don't know what that name means, Haloti Ngata used to play for the Baltimore Ravens. Guy's 6'2" and 270 pounds of solid muscle. And I just told this kid that he's not special. mom will come pick him up today. No, of course not. Why would his mom pick him up? So Dad walks in, and I see him, and I'm like over there, and he's getting picked up over here, and I see Sam tell his dad something. He tells his dad something, and he says something, and he like points in my general direction, and then Haloti kind of gives this like look. He just like that. He just gives that look. I swear to God, I've never ran faster in my entire life. It's a little bit more. The story goes on. So fast forward like 5 months. It's December of 2014, and I'm at a restaurant with some cousins, and does anyone have like cousins that are on the age between like 10 and 14? They're brats. They're brats. Suck. So he was being a little brat. I got a little fed up with him, and I said, I was like, hey, look, if you don't stop being a brat right now, you're gonna end up like, and I didn't know what to point to, and I just pointed behind me, thinking that there's some lowly busboy behind me. I don't know. You're gonna end up like that guy, and he's like, oh, okay. So I turn around, and who's sitting at the table behind me but Haloti Nada? So, of course, the little bratty cousin's like, can we get an autograph? Can we get an autograph? I'm like, sure, whatever. So I go over, I'm trying to like shield my face from Haloti. I'm going like this, and like, don't see me, don't recognize me. And I hope he didn't recognize me. And the little cousin gets an autograph, he's like, thanks. And he looks up at me, he says, you look a little bit familiar. I said, no, I still kind of wanted an autograph. So, the audacity of me to call this man's child not special and still want an autograph. So I still want to like, can you sign this? And he looks at me dead in the eye and he says, no, you're not special.